Okay, so this is the Paladin Weld checker again, version 2.1. I am going to show you now how to do the auto calibration. This will factor out any friction and drag within the system so that then when the test is applied, it will actually cancel out the friction and only apply extra torque to the part itself. So what you do is you first hold the menu up and down buttons, and sorry about the labels, these are just temporary. There's a bezel coming that's engraved for these, but you hold up and down at the same time for 4 or 5 seconds. It enters menu mode. Press the reset button to cycle through the two options. The first is omega meter test. That's not what we want. Select again. Now you have self-calibration. You press start to select. It says to close the cover. So what it's doing is it's generating the torque values required to overcome the friction of the system. These are just a number from 0 to 255. It's an analog output. And it saves to the EEPROM, and the calibration is complete. Now we can demonstrate that the system has been recalibrated by turning it off. Turn back on. It's going to go through the self-check. Those are the new values that it's just generated. Wants me to go through the self-check. Just make sure that all the solenoids and sensors are okay. And then the binding test uses the previous values plus 1 digit. So it's a very, very sensitive test. It's only 1 digit over the digital value, 0 to 255, that it calculated in the original self-calibration. So there's no way that the test can be executed unless this passed. Let me demonstrate one more time. And turn off. Turn back on again. So I'm going to go through the self-test. Now I'm going to lift the cover and hold these so that they can't move. Well, actually it worked okay that time because I didn't get it in time. I'm going to try that one more time. So I'm going to push down hard on the cover. I'm going to try to let it go through the first high power test. Now I'm going to push down harder to try to bind. You can see how the first 2 solenoids come up bad. And it says in English and Spanish to notify the supervisor that the test failed. Now watch what happens when I try to press start. Here, I'll put in a part. Say the operator didn't even notice this. I'm going to press start, close the cover. It says self-test failed. Even if I hold the cover, self-test failed. I'll hit reset. Self-test failed. It won't allow the operator to test the part unless it passes. Now go ahead, turn it off and on again. Let it go through its self-test normally. Now the binding test. Now I go ahead and try to test the part. Press start first. My cover popped open. Let me try that one more time. I think these weren't seated all the way. Start. All four passed. So that's how the system kind of mistake proofs having an operator try to run it if it hasn't passed the self-calibration.